To save a single girl, how far will Daredevil go? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. This is a part of a series of Daredevil solo stories called Dark Nights. The story begins with a car crash and a young girl in trouble. Over at the offices of Nelson and Murdoch, Matt Murdock, also known as the Daredevil, is staying late as a horrible snowstorm is rolling into New York. With his cases wrapped up for the day, he throws on his Stark thermal wear and he begins to walk home. But the heavy snow is causing an interference for Daredevil's radar abilities, and he can't fully see what's going on. It's almost as if he's actually blind. And that's how random muggers were able to hit him over the head, knocking him unconscious. Two random guys. While he's being carried to the local hospital, the young girl needs a heart transplant, and luckily one was found. But as the helicopter takes off, it begins to get reports of the storm incoming. They don't make it. In 10 minutes from the hospital, they go down somewhere in New York City with the storm barreling down on them. Back in the hospital, some muggers walk in and they demand everyone give up their wallets and their money. Storms bring out the worst in people, opportunistic rats looking for a free ride. But a random John Doe that was just brought in throws some doctor tools at the guns, knocking them out of the muggers' hands, and then drops all of the muggers. One of the nurses comes over and asks who the man is, and he ignores that question, asking about the young girl that he heard about. The nurse tells him that it's a girl named Hannah and she needs a heart transplant, but they lost contact with the helicopter bringing the heart. She then walks Matt back to his hospital room and Matt tells her he can help. And that's when her friend opens up Matt's briefcase and finds the Daredevil costume. John Doe is Daredevil. The two nurses bring Daredevil to the roof, where he asks how much time he has, and they tell him 2 hours until the heart isn't viable. So he jumps off the roof. But there's still a storm going on and he's still injured, so he misses his landing, bouncing off of the roof and landing in the snow down below. He spits out the snow that landed in his mouth, and then he gets up and begins pushing through the inches of snow in front of him. He can't give up. Never give up. Ever. It's moments like these that Daredevil is reminded that he is one man. His powers aren't speed or the ability to be in multiple places at once. He has to prioritize what he's doing. To save this little girl, he has to ignore the looting, the shattering of wood and glass, the junkie being beat in an alley, and other happenings in New York. He decides to log a few of these events for later, but right now he has a little girl to save, and that requires him to push through this snow and get to that helicopter. While pushing through, the girl's father is trying to come up with an answer to save his daughter. He's a man of power and money, but right now, he's powerless. The two nurses take it upon themselves to delete the security footage protecting Daredevil's identity. And back with Daredevil, he's beginning to suffer from hypothermia. But Daredevil never quits. He can't quit. He eventually finds the helicopter stuck on a structure buried in the snow. He throws his grappling line up and he climbs the structure trying to get up there. That's when he can hear 2 heartbeats, meaning both pilots are alive. He can save the heart and their lives if he hurries. But as he gets up the structure, the helicopter falls off and into the bay down below, with negative 30-degree temperature waters. Without even thinking about it, Daredevil dives into the bay to save everyone. The first person he pulls out is the female pilot, and then he throws her on the shore where the local workers are waiting. She tells him her partner is dead, but Daredevil can hear the heartbeat. He knows that there's another one. So he goes back down into the freezing waters, but when he gets to her co-pilot, he realizes that she was right. He is long dead, but he can still hear her heartbeat. Back at the hospital, the doctor explains to the family that they are in luck. They have longer than 6 hours because the heart is being kept active through machines to prevent it from expiring before it can reach its respected donor. It's a new technology that they're trying out. That's the noise that Daredevil is hearing. The heart is in the machine. He pulls it back up on the docks, and now covered in water, he begins his trek back to the hospital. With icicles forming on his nose and his mouth, he keeps trekking. He keeps pushing forward and deciding that he can't be distracted. He has to get right back to that hospital. Nearby, a mugger breaks into a building and he grabs the woman inside. He begins to threaten her with all kinds of unpleasant things, until the door is kicked in and there stands Daredevil. Some things can't be ignored. With the snow and the ice still on his face, he tells the mugger to get out of the building now. And once it's just him and the woman, Daredevil collapses on the ground unconscious. The heart transplant, the little girl, and Daredevil all make the news, and they are becoming the meaning of the storm, the thing that everyone hopes works out. But other people decide that this is a great opportunity, and they load up their snowmobiles to go hunting. Daredevil wakes up in a bed and he discovers that the building he's just entered is a woman's shelter. The shelter owner took the heart that Daredevil left there, and he began trying to finish the trek to the hospital since Daredevil was passed out. But he won't give up. He needs to finish what he started, so he puts his boots back on before heading out into the snow once again. He follows Johnny's tracks, trying to find the man and help him finish the delivery, but that's when he discovers that Johnny was kidnapped. He follows the trail to a warehouse where the men inside are demanding to know where he is. Where is Daredevil? They knew he was delivering the heart, so Johnny must know where he is. But Johnny refuses to give up that location, so they begin beating on him severely. Luckily, Daredevil found him in time and he throws his baton into the room, taking out the lights. He then knocks out one of the men and he leans into Johnny, telling him, shh. He then takes both Johnny and the heart and makes a break for it after throwing a bottle in the corner to distract the men. Johnny and Daredevil keep pushing through the storm until Johnny just can't walk anymore. It's freezing out and he was beat on by those goons looking for Daredevil. Daredevil can hear the fluid forming in his lungs. While Daredevil has no proof of who sent those men after him, he has an idea. Meanwhile, in a high-rise in the city, the Kingpin is furious. They used that little girl's heart as bait. Bring them to me, and I will deal with them personally. Daredevil walks back into the hospital with the heart on his back carrying Johnny. They put Johnny on a stretcher and they carry him off while the heart is taken right to the girl. No one sees where Daredevil goes, but he actually goes into the storage room and he waits for the next 6 hours because he refuses to leave until he can hear it. He needs to hear it. Then, after the surgery, he hears it, the little girl's heartbeat. It's all gonna be okay. Like I said, this was a fun little Daredevil story, and if you guys want more Daredevil stories, please give this video a like, and I will look around and see what I can find. I might even do a long-running Daredevil arc. I'm really debating it. If you want to chat about this video or the new season of Daredevil, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian, on Instagram at Comicstorian, and don't forget about our gaming channel where you can find various gaming comic books. It's Eligible Monster, you can find the link down below. I'll see you guys next time right here.